What's good, y'all? Welcome back to Kid Taj. Today we're going to be talking about the Boston Celtics again. Last time I talked about the Boston Celtics, I made a video about how they have a chance to get to the NBA Finals, or if they had a chance at the NBA Finals, how they would be able to do that, how they'd be able to get there. And that was, like, people shot on that video just because of the fact that, they got destroyed in their first two games, especially in that second game. And they came back in game 3 without their best player, Isaiah Thomas, and took a huge win on the road. A lot of stuff we're going to talk about with that game because that game was awesome. It was crazy. It was a mix. It was something unforeseen, which is great, which I love, which we're just missing in the NBA this year, in the playoffs especially. So I'm going to break that down. Before I do, I just want to say that, guys, this is not a video geared at Isaiah Thomas in terms of, saying, oh, they're better without him, or like he's hurting them, that secretly they just, play better when he's like, no, that's not what I'm saying, but I'm explaining why him not being there actually helps the situation the Celtics are in. Now, let me just start out with saying that down 2-0 after taking two brutal losses at home, getting absolutely destroyed in the second game, 44 points. So you're coming off a 44-point blowout. At home, you're the 1 seed, and you just lost your best player, your 30-point scorer. And you're going into Cleveland, and they're as hot as ever. And look, you really couldn't be in a worse situation. With Isaiah Thomas against this Cavs team, they really couldn't be doing much worse. And that's not Isaiah Thomas's fault, but look, if you take a look at how the Cavs are geared to play, if you go up against a team where the offense is run by one guy, and one guy really has, all of the power to do whatever he wants, the Cavs are going to feast on that team. And the reason for this is just because of the fact that they know exactly how to adjust. Isaiah Thomas did a great job in the regular season exposing defenses, making tall defenders look helpless. But when the Cavs play him, they turn all their attention to Isaiah Thomas, and he couldn't get anything to go. And the thing was with that, the fact that Isaiah Thomas, he's a guy that he wants most of the shots. And he's going to take more shots than anybody else. He's going to run the offense. He's going to make the passes. The ball's going to be in his hands. And when the ball's in his hands, it's predictable. And the Cavs, that's just playing right into their hands. Honestly, they love this, and we've seen it. I mean, last round, you play the Raptors, well, you know who's dead. DeRozan's going to shoot all the shots. Even when Lowry was injured, it's just so much more predictable and obvious. They threw what they could at DeRozan. He made some shots. He missed some. But look, they were ready for him. They knew exactly what was going to happen, and they kept in good control throughout the game because of that. Now, Isaiah Thomas goes down with his injury, and a lot of people are thinking, oh, well, it's over. I mean, they're done. They lost their best player. There's absolutely no way they can win a game. Now, look, you might be like, okay, Marcus Smart hit 7 3-pointers. LeBron James only scored 11 points. This is a fluky game, and you know it, and the Cavs are going to take these next 2 games. Well, perhaps. That might be true. But the Celtics offense on the road was its best of the series so far. I mean, the offense has been great. Defense has been worse, but their offense flowed a lot better. Not only were guys knocking down shots, but they were getting everybody shots. And here's the difference. When you don't have Isaiah Thomas on the floor, you're not predictable anymore. The Cavs are like, okay, what are they going to do? They put Marcus Smart out on the floor, a guy who, he's a bench player and he's more of a defensive guy. But he goes in and he runs some offense. Avery Bradley does his thing to get Al Horford and Jay Crowder shots. And, whoever's playing with those guys, Amir Johnson got injured. And then they were, inserting guys like Kelly Olynyk and even Jonas Jerebko, who had a huge impact on the game. You play as a team. And this is something that you really fare a lot better against the Cleveland Cavaliers when you play as a team. And the reason for this is because they have to stop everybody now. If you got a lineup with Smart, Bradley, Crowder, Horford, though all 4 of those guys, I mean, look, when Isaiah Thomas isn't running the offense, all 4 of those guys are going to run the offense. You don't know who to key in on. You got to key in on all of them. And when Isaiah Thomas was running the offense, it was like, okay, you got to guard Isaiah Thomas, and the other guys, you didn't really worry about them that much. And the reason why they're more deadly now is because they're touching the ball more. They feel like they're a bigger part. They feel like they have to contribute more, and that's exactly what they do. When a team goes through something like this, sometimes it doesn't work. I mean, look at the San Antonio Spurs. They're playing the Golden State Warriors. It didn't really work out very well for them when Kawhi Leonard went down, Tony Parker went down. They're just not good enough, and that's the problem. When you play the Warriors, you're shorthanded. You don't have anybody that can really compete. You don't have any All-Stars going up against a 4 All-Star team. It's really tough. And the Spurs, in Game 3, they played hell of a lot better than they did in Game 2. But it's not always going to work. But specifically for the Cleveland Cavaliers, it's a lot better to spread them out because they're not filled with great defensive players. I mean, Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love are two of the headline names in that starting lineup, and those guys can easily be exposed in the defensive end. You just got to move the ball around. You move the ball around against the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Celtics do that. I said that in that video I made. Look, the Boston Celtics, they know how to pass the ball. Okay, they know how to get people shots. They know how to do this. The problem was that they were too reliant on Isaiah Thomas. They were like, okay, he's going to get us going. He's definitely going to rely on him getting us going. But it didn't happen, and they weren't able to get going. Now, you ask guys to step up and, be a better version of themselves. Al Horford, a guy who's been a star in this league. He hasn't been a star this year, really, but he's trying to step up. Marcus Smart, man, this guy stepped up big time. He was great. Now, yeah, there's a huge chance, and I don't know if I'll call it huge, but there's a big chance that the Cavs just take these games 4-5 and they're on their way to the finals. I mean, that's definitely probably the most obvious outcome. Maybe the Cavs go to 6. But something else could happen. The Celtics might have just some newfound confidence that they could ride into this game 4. And hey, they came back from down 2-0 in the first round after losing their first 2 at home. A lot of people thought that was over until Rajon Rondo just happened to get injured. Unfortunately, they're not going to catch a break like that this time. But they're capable. That's the whole point of this. Look, the Boston Celtics are probably not going to win another game. They might win a game. They probably won't win 2 games, but really, who knows? But they're in this series. They're down 2-1. They need a win in Game 4. If they get a win in Game 4, they're in business because they go back home for Game 5 with the series tied 2-2, something they could have never imagined. Because when they go down 2-0, you lose the games by a combined 57 points. Everybody's saying, look, the Boston Celtics are done. There's absolutely no way they can make it out just because of, look, they're losing each game by 30 points. No chance. But now, a big win, and we'll see what confidence does to a team. We'll see it next game what that effect is. Because, look, I'm not going to go out and say the Celtics are just so much better now, but I can see them playing like they played last game. The outcome of the game was, you can put that on the Cavs as much as you can put it on the Celtics because the Cavs, you didn't get LeBron James in the last 20 minutes of that game. I'll tell you that. He disappears. And look, you're not going to have that much of a chance to win any game if he does that. Now, you can't rely on LeBron James to disappear at the end of these games because we haven't really seen that for a few years. That's not something that we expect to see. We thought that was gone, but look, I mean, there's signs there. I mean, that's incredible. I didn't think I'd ever see that again, but it happened. LeBron did that, and if LeBron drops 50 next game, no one's going to care. Really, no one's going to care anymore. It's just going to be a little bump in the road, adversity. Every team needs that, so I'm not sure. Like I said, I just think that the Cavs are probably going to take this in 5, honestly. I would be very surprised if the Celtics won 2 games. Like, if they won 2 more games. If they forced it to 7, that would be incredible. If they won one more game, I'm not that surprised because they got this newfound confidence from that last game because Isaiah Thomas isn't playing. And I even forgot to mention, I can't believe I forgot to mention this, but their defense is so much better. Look at that substitution they make. Isaiah Thomas off, Marcus Smart on. The defense is so much cleaner. You force tougher shots. You're able to trap on LeBron like they did, and they forced LeBron out of shots. Jay Crowder did a great job on LeBron James. A lot of people said that he wasn't capable of that. Well, he did a great job in Game 3. And now, like I said, you get more guys touches. You get more guys shots. You can rely on everybody. You have to rely on everybody. And that's a team game. That's how you keep the Cavs on their toes. Because the Cavs, if you play a one-man game against them, you're predictable. And predictable is the worst thing to be against this Cleveland team. That's why the Warriors are like the best matchup for them. Because the Warriors, they have a bunch of guys that can hurt you. Unlike the team like, Toronto, where it's like DeRozan and Lowry carry you. Lowry gets injured, and now DeRozan's got to do everything, and you know that he's going to do everything. It's an easy win. You won all those games easily because the Raptors' offense is predictable. There's no ball movement in that offense. We all know this. Boston Celtics do move the ball a little bit more, but when Isaiah Thomas is there, it's all going through him. He's moving the ball and getting their offense going, but if you can't get their offense going, there's no offense to, it's just harder when everybody knows what you're going to do. Isaiah's going to drive and kick. You're going to swing the ball around, but you can't do that if he's not, able to get into his spot, and he wasn't able to do that. He wasn't able to put pressure on the defense because they were there. They defended him well at the rim. That's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, feel free to leave a like, comment, an idea down below what you think about this. You really think that the Celtics can win this series? I doubt it, but hey, man, I'd be thrilled if, they could get this game to get this to a 7-game series, because that would be a fantastic thing, because we need more competition in the league for sure. Subscribe if you're new, and I'm out. Thanks for watching, y'all. Peace.